Hi, everybody. It's Connie. It's been a while since I said my name, so I figured it was probably about time again. um, and this video, we're going to talk about all the recent stuff that's been going on in the world of AI. And first of all, though, I did just want to tell you a few other things, mainly that I have YouTube playlists now. Yay! So I created some playlists on my channel, and that basically means that it should be a lot easier for you to um, find the content quickly that you're most interested in, whether it's tutorials or my childhood or AI or some of the videos I recorded at the ranch or while I was just out and about doing tours of other places or um, yeah, what are some of the other videos I have on here? The lessons with Laura or our convos with Kim, which we had last time, which that hopefully will be a regular feature as well. Um, and my musical family, some of the jam session we had, and the one that I did live, and um, so yeah, I did one that's just mainly about being what's like theoretical different methods people use with the adaptive techniques, I should say, about being blind, and one about just being an adult and some of the things I'm thinking about and all that. So, yeah, if you're using a computer with YouTube like I do, I usually just, if it's a YouTube channel I want to make sure I don't miss anything, I will just go to the YouTube channel page and then I'll even just click on videos and then I will put that in my favorites so that I can just quickly go there and see if there's anything new, which will appear on top. And I can just hit H for heading and keep hitting H to go through the different videos. And you can also just, now that I have my playlists, you can go to playlists and click H on those to quickly see what the different ones are too. And on your phone, I'm sure that it's similar, but if you just click on one of these playlists, it's going to just start playing the playlist. So you probably don't want that unless you have enough time right then to like binge watch some of the videos in that list because it'll just keep playing them one after the other. But if you just want to view what's in them, then you should um, hit the button that says view full playlist, and that will just then take you to the various videos in that playlist without playing them. So um, I also wanted to tell you about future videos that I'm thinking of, but be sure to check out the ones that I recently have done. I did a tutorial, another one about my Android phone, especially for beginners or people that are technologically challenged, as some of us are, and so I just like to teach going at a slower pace because I know like seniors or people newly blinded or just whatever. There's a whole segment of people that I think there isn't as much out there for them that they can just sit back and learn in a little bit more relaxed and informal setting. So that's what my videos try to do. And in future I'll probably do one on what it's like being a twin because I've had several people uh, request that now, and it sounds like a pretty interesting topic. Um, and I also might take my glasses if we do a White Cane Day event. I believe that's coming up on October 15th, and I attend a blind peer support group meeting in my town, and there was some talk of possibly getting something going, like going on a walk and possibly inviting some members of the media or whatever. But I thought that would just be a good video for my channel as well to demonstrate people getting around. And so if the media is there, people shouldn't mind me recording as well. So yeah, hopefully that will all come together. But that would make a good video, I think. And also, I'm going to be visiting my sister here coming up in the not too distant future. And so, yeah, stay tuned for all that and much more, as they say. um, but yeah, I can't believe I have more than 50 videos already on my channel, and I just still haven't even begun to scratch the surface of the things I want to talk about. I mean, you pretty much have the main gist now of topics I'm most interested in, but there's so much I want to say about each one of those topics. So, yeah, stay tuned and tell all your friends and yada yada. um, and um, so, getting back into, or not back into, but getting into today's topic. OpenAI released their new model called O1, and I don't know if this is like a full update, or because now I'm hearing rumors that like in December they'll actually be releasing their GPT-5, or they might be calling it Orion, or I don't know. They have all these code words like this O1 has strawberry in it, and on and on. So it's kind of easy to get stuck in the weeds if you aren't listening to this stuff on a daily basis. You might not have a clue what is being talked about. But basically, though, um, this model has the ability to reason with itself, quote unquote. I mean, it's still basic pattern recognition, but like I said in other videos, the main idea is the output. If the output um, is the same or even higher quality as someone thinking, then I'm going to use the word thinking, reasoning, learning, etc. So, what this um, model does is it can, and it has a whole chain of thought, and then the engineers of this model have then told it to summarize that chain of thought, and it will show, if you want to see like how it arrived at any conclusion, it can tell you every step along the way. Now people are kind of complaining they want to see the whole chain of thought and not just the summary, but I can kind of see why that might not be as desirable. I mean, if it has some steps in the process there, because it's like uncensored, and some people might be offended at like how it arrived at some of its conclusions, even though the output might be good and the best for that individual or for the situation or whatever. But like if it just notices, for example, that you there's some things that you don't learn very easily, it might take that into consideration when framing its answer or whatever, and all that would be part of this chain that it talks, this inner monologue, I guess you would call it, of how it arrived at certain conclusions. So, but anyway, that's pretty exciting how they are just able to train these models in such a way that, like with chain of thought and thought trees and all that, which you can just Google those words if you want to know more about it. But just things that we've learned about how our own brain works, now they know how to train these models, because there were rumors like, oh, we're compute restrained and we don't have enough electricity to run all this, or enough energy or whatever. But they're figuring out ways to get these models better and better and better, even though they aren't using as much computer energy, and they just are fine tuning them for particular situations or whatever. So it's kind of exciting to just see how like this O1 now that just came out, it's smarter than a graduate student. And so we've pretty much reached AGI. I mean, it kind of depends on your definition, like artificial general intelligence, which basically means that it is better at most humans on any given task, is one definition. And it's kind of interesting, this guy that I kind of started listening to at first that really captured my attention, I haven't even mentioned his name yet because I've kind of got a little disillusioned with him, because it seemed to me like he was caving to peer pressure a little bit, and he was just kind of going through this phase of burnout and not recording many videos regularly and stuff. But at first, like last year, he was predicting, I predict that we'll have AGI or by next year, by next September. And he was really strong about that for a long time. But then people in the community kept saying, no, there's no way. And they kept saying how all these restraints were coming up, like there's not enough compute and yada yada. So he kind of backtracked on that and said, yeah, it'll probably be a while yet. And now he even said in his most recent video, kind of wish now that I had not backed down on what I said, because it really looks like we're pretty much there. I mean, of course, when you actually get there, it's never exactly what you visualize it's going to be like, but nothing in life is. I mean, that's kind of the neat thing in a way about life, that no matter how much you think about something, you kind of have a good idea of, like, you try to prepare yourself as much as possible, but when you actually get there, it's going to be a lot of unforeseen things, or it might just not look like the way you thought it would for whatever reason. But the general premise is still there, but it's just happens so gradually in a way, um, that you just kind of don't even really realize it. Wow, we've reached it. I mean, you kind of expect beforehand that it's going to be like this huge wow moment, and I think in a way it is. It's more and more people start to realize what we have here, because even Dave was like not as impressed at first with this new model until he really started digging into it. And um, but it's just cool to see how it can pass all these graduate level math tests that have no LLM has ever been able to do before. And just yeah, pretty amazing just to think about what possibly is coming down the road here in the very near future. And just the way it can check its own thinking and like correct itself along the way before it even spits out its final response to you. It's like doing all this stuff and like changing its mind, quote unquote, as it and all this is just happening in seconds, and then it just gives you its final analysis, and then of course you can correct it even further and with follow-up questions or whatever. And then there's another one that I really wanted to demonstrate for you on here, but I have so much to talk about that it would have been kind of a lot to finagle, because I would have probably wanted to share my screen, and then there's a lot of screens that I'm tabbing to, and that would have required a lot of editing and stuff on my part after the fact, which I'm getting a lot better at that sort of thing. I'm just not like totally fast and efficient at it yet. It just takes me more time than I wanted to invest right at the moment. So I just decided to tell you about it for now, but there are definitely podcasts where you can check out this notebook. What is it called here? Yeah, Notebook LLM has a new feature now called audio. I forget what it's called, but I'm sure it'll be very easy for people that are interested to find it. But what it does is you can give it like a blog article or just any kind of article, or even a video. Like somebody put a 2-hour video into this thing of a speaker, and then it turned it into a podcast. And these podcasts right now, they're only 10 minutes in length, but it's totally like a podcast. You would not believe that it isn't real, quote unquote, but it's just two AIs talking to each other. Like there's one with a male voice and one with a female voice, and it's just totally natural speak. Like they just put all the and like laugh or little chuckles in there, and just like they'll say and like and and stuff like that, just to sound more natural. And just to talk over each other a little bit like you would in natural everyday like language or whatever. And but they summarize whatever this article is that you feed into it in a 10-minute podcast. It's just so crazy. Like it's just a natural sounding conversation. So this would just be so handy for like auditory learners that don't do well just reading a boring textbook or whatever. And I'm sure you'll just be able to fine tune it to no end once it gets into the hands of people that can expand on it and stuff. And like we already have stuff that can turn audio into text, like this meeting software. Like if you're in a meeting, it can you can get a transcript of the meeting with Whisper, which is basically the best transcription anywhere, better than any human. That's from OpenAI as well. um, and it's just it's going to be so useful for uh, the other. Now we have the visual and auditory that we can really capitalize on to maximal advantage for the student, and that's just one possible use case. um, so it's pretty amazing. And so anyway, in other news, Time magazine reported on the 100 most influential um, people influencing AI. And guess who was not even on the list at all? Like, he wasn't in the first five, he wasn't in the first 10, or even the first 50. He wasn't even on there. And that's Elon Musk. I just have found that so hilarious. I mean, it's just such a blatant use, or of example, I should say, of media bias. I mean, I will unequivocally say, I believe he is the number one guy in AI by far, for a number of reasons. I mean, it may not look like it sometimes. He has a tendency to overpromise sometimes. And I mean, there are some things in his personality that are kind of, I mean, he's not perfect by a long shot, but just the fact that he wasn't even on this list just says a whole lot. Just kind of humorous and ironic in a way. But I mean, the proof will be in the pudding before much longer at all. And I mean, I think you're just starting to hear even more since then. I think people have kind of are starting to figure that out. You just can't go to the mainstream media for any of your news. You have to go right to the source, or right into the space, and listen to videos or whatever from experts who actually do deep dives into this stuff and know what they're talking about. And so yeah, so I'm just glad we have those independent sources available nowadays, and just aren't at the mercy of whatever some newscast or magazine or whatever decides to feed us. We have a lot of options available now. And it's just too bad the way so many things are politicized these days, though. And um, there is another guy that I haven't told you about yet that has gotten more into political things lately. His channel, if you want to check him out, is called Farzad. Farsad. I forget. He's an immigrant from somewhere. I forget what country now. Duh, I should know it. But yeah, he doesn't have an accent at all anymore, 'cause I think he was here for like since teenager at least. And but he talks a lot about Elon and Tesla and stuff. And now, since with the election coming up, he's been doing more podcasts. He and this other guy, Hans Nelson. And I'll probably do a whole other video that touches more on political things, because I have kind of been wanting to talk more about that. But um, yeah, for now though, there's a few more things I wanted to just say before getting into that. But yeah, so check out his videos though if you want to know kind of how I am thinking, because it's pretty cool that the more I've listened, I'm just realizing that we have a lot in common, as far as he was uh, very left leaning for a while, and then just kind of found out that they were definitely misreporting stuff too, or whatever. And because he used to work for Tesla, and just now he would call himself more of an independent. And there are just things that he doesn't like about either, but definitely leans more one way than the other, which I'll leave you in suspense as far as his final conclusions, or I mean, it's really never final, but his current, I should say, his current thinking on the whole thing. But the channel I really wanted to tell you guys about, if you're interested in learning more about Tesla and how it is really not an A or a just a car company. It is an AI company, and not just an AI company, but I believe you everyone will soon realize it's the top AI company. So if you're really interested in AI, you really need to follow Tesla. And the best channel that I would tell you for that is one called Brighter with Herbert, and he usually has two videos every day, more sometimes, but most of them are like 20 minutes to a half hour in length. Sometimes he does deeper dives, and those are a little longer. Um, but he's very expert and knowledgeable on different topics regarding Tesla, and there are a lot of different topics. Like I said, it's not just a car, because now he's really focusing on the batteries and energy and the robots, which he believes eventually is going to be actually the main thing of the company, is this embodied AI, and how all of this other stuff just is kind of all connected together, like even his different companies like Neuralink and SpaceX and what's his uh, XAI, and all that. He can, like, they can all get things from each other basically, and but anyway, this Brighter with Herbert channel, he has all different guests on there. Um, and it's with they all offer different perspectives. I mean, sometimes they disagree with each other, but they always keep it very civil, and just all share their honest thoughts about how. I mean, in every episode, they say like this is not financial advice, because they do focus sometimes on the stock market too, and give their opinions, backing it up with data and charts and everything, and history, past history, and future prospects, and all that kind of stuff. And so I just find it very interesting, and they're good at staying on point. Whereas Farzad, he kind of gets off in the weeds sometimes, but this Brighter with Herbert channel, they really stay on point. And so yeah, and so it's mostly stuff that you will never hear in the mainstream media. I mean, eventually the media will catch up and will, like when they have no other choice or whatever. But you'll definitely have already heard whatever they're going to tell you. And sometimes, of course, the media just doesn't get it right. They just don't know enough, because they have to cover everything about everything. And of course, so that means they're kind of expert in nothing. So they get stuff wrong sometimes. So that's why it's really good to go straight to these other sources. And yeah, there's a lot of other like Tesla channels, but a lot of them focus on just one aspect, like the cars or the self-driving or the robots part, or whatever. But speaking of the robots, though, I mean, it's just amazing how they are going to change the economy. Like next year, there's already going to be thousands of robots. Most of them will probably be like not in the home or anything like that, but still, you'll start to really get the picture of what they're capable of. And like my sister posted something on Facebook recently about all the food waste in restaurants. It's pretty pathetic, like up to 30% of food waste, and just why isn't the government doing something about that? Like where they will go to these restaurants and get all of this wasted food that's being wasted, and then give it to people that are really in need or whatever, instead of just wasting it. And just, I mean, that's one of the type of things that robots will be able to do, because there just won't be any excuses then about, oh, we just don't have enough people, or it will cost too much to deploy all these people, because we'll be able to make as many robots as we want. um, and we'll be able to the robots then will be able to build other robots eventually, and the cost will keep going down and down and down as that happens. And so uh, anything we can envision doing, we can deploy robots, and then like we could even have drones in the picture, so the drones could be taking this food to more remote areas or whatever. Um, but the thing is that we need a stable economy, with a thriving like innovations and all that in order to have these things available, like to have all these robots and these different AIs and LLMs and all that that are going to start working together and accomplishing so much good in the world if we handle it correctly. That's a big if, but a big if I should say. But I have faith that we can do it if we really set our minds to it. But it's just that we innovators in our country have a lot of motivation to succeed, and then there's a trickle down effect to less advantaged countries so that they can then eventually I mean the progress helps everyone, and so yeah, I could say a lot more about that and probably will at some point, but um yeah, I just really love thinking about this kind of stuff, but I think I better draw this to a close for now. So please like, it really does help the video if you just hit that like button or subscribe or whatever, and I'll can't wait to see you next time. Bye for now.